This one only has 3 lug nuts in it.
Oh.
Is that a feature? Or? We've got a lot of work to do here. We have to get everything out of the engine bay so we can clean it and paint it and get it ready to put the engine in. Not necessarily. Not unless we have to. Hose that takes brake fluid is a special kind of hose. It's expensive. You should ask Jared. Yummy. There it is.
Oh, that's a filter in there.
Yeah, it's a little screen. A little filter screen. There it goes. In the mouth.
You?
Yes.
Sorry.
How'd you do that?
Like, was that the trajectory?
Yeah, it was. Just. Look at this thing. This thing's rough. This was from a junkyard car in Missouri. Was that the Missouri one? You got the AC components. Yeah, it's rough. We're gonna try and salvage it because we don't want the battery in the trunk. All right, now we're gonna clean and prep this thing for paint because it needs it.
Needs it.
Yeah.
We're cleaning with our typical go-to, mineral spirits and a scrub brush.
There's also some surface rust over where the battery goes, so we're gonna clean that up before we paint.
Next, we're going to scuff every surface with a Scotch-Brite pad to give the paint something to grab onto. Then we'll hit it with another round of mineral spirits and blow it off.
Now we're going to mask off everything we don't want to paint. The firewall is in great shape, so we're just going to paint to the back corners.
Aluminum foil is a super easy and effective way to mask off hoses, lines, and wires for painting an engine bay.
We'll start off with painting the front subframe with some black engine enamel. Then we'll move on to all the green parts with some base color, then clear coat. That's painted. So that's 3 coats of base, 3 coats of clear, and it looks really, really good. Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. So now we let it dry overnight. Here are some before and afters. Like I said, we're very happy with the results. Alright, so we are trying to pop open the fuel sending unit and see what we can see. The previous owner said there's a 255 in here, and they had a 6AN line put on for the feed. So we've been drenching these nuts,
It's like finger tight,
for several days in WD, and they're coming off like butter with just a nut driver, which is great. That almost never happens. So yeah, so we'll get in here and see what's in here. Wow, all of them? That's great. That's just great. I mean, it looks like it's in good shape. This is a good car.
lacquer.
There we go.
Some really old gas in there.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's look at this. That is a 255. And it looks done properly. So that's good. Well, we can work with that. I'd say we get a new screen for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's your sending for the gauge. Yeah, that's in good shape. Oh, I don't know about that. We can work on something. Okay, cool. All right, fuel pump. It's good. All right, yep. We're gonna. Oh, there's the garage door. We're gonna drain the fuel tank. There we go. Oh,
It's really
that's bad.
varnish.
It's worse than what was in the Vista.
It smells like old furniture.
I think it smells like
What? How long is it in
rotting
there?
hops.
14 years.
I don't know. Adam Smith, how long is this gas in here? Something's missing.
Something's missing.
All right, now we're gonna put the engine in. So it's painted. We fixed the wire harness, and we're prepped for the engine now. So now we'll put it in.
Putting an engine in a freshly painted engine bay is always nerve-wracking, so we'll take our time getting it just right.
All right, it's in. It's in. Yeah. Hi, I'm here with my buddy Alex, and we're cutting this crash beam for the Galant.
Can I go now?
No, yeah, you can go. All right, so here we have the intercooler and how it's mounted to the crash bar.
It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not. It's at a bit of an angle, but it fits just up in there. So we're gonna get this mounted. All right, and here it is inside the bumper cover. So you can see how the intercooler fits nicely in there. And it'll get direct flow from those vents, and the bumper goes right in there. Right there. there it is. All right, so we got the bumper all put together with all its framing and bolts and clips and styrofoam and everything. There's a lot of pieces to this bumper, actually. And the intercooler's in there. And we'll put the other fog light in once it's on the car, but now we can put this on the car. Sweet.
Good. We're gonna have to go like 850 watts.
850 volts. Degrees. Yeah.
There we go.
So right now we're wiring the slim fan to the harness. We snipped it off of the factory fan so that we can plug it right into the harness, and we're actually going to trigger the high relay with ECM link instead of relying on the thermal switches, which are right here. Instead of relying on those switches, we're going to control it with the ECU, like how it is on a 2G. So we'll just send the ground trigger of the relay to the ECU, and then we'll just run this fan on high.
The next day.
All right, we've done a lot to the car. Here's an update. We've got the oil cooler mounted. That's where the stock front mount intercooler goes, so it worked out. We ran the lines around and into the oil filter housing like that. We've got all the subframe on. Engine's in, trans is in. We've got the exhaust mocked up. We're still working on that. We've got our bucket stands. And we're messing with intercooler piping too. Still figuring that out, but AC fans in. And yeah, there's the engine and transmission, and most everything's connected. We were able to extend the wires and run the harness from below the intake manifold, so that cleans that up. Got our fuel pressure regulator on and our gauge. If anyone knows what brand this fuel pressure regulator is, I'd like to know. I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't find it anywhere. We've got the same one on the Vista somehow, and we don't know what it is. But yeah, this is just our sacrificial cover still, so we're using it for tools until we put the good one on. But yeah, everything mounted up real nice. All the poly mounts. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Oh, and we have the new suspension in. We went with KYB AGX stock springs, all new bushings, billows, and bump stops, and new top hats for the bearings. And then for the rear, we're using 1G springs, all-wheel drive springs, which are a little bit stiffer, and they lower it a little bit, and we didn't necessarily want to lower it, so we put 2G rear top hats in, and that brings the back end back up and lets the whole car sit level. So that's good. Those are done. And we put a new filter in the fuel pump and put it all back together and hooked back up the stock line, and that's all good to go. And this has been rewired. And that's the latest on the car. So we're going to try and finish up the intercooler and the exhaust today and get her closer.
Thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll finish up and start the car, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.